Let's see if this works. Wouldn't it be great if it did? Wouldn't it be nice if this was streaming? Have you got a cup of tea? I've got mine. I am round at Jamie's YouTube studio trying to do a quick live broadcast, y'all. Hey, how are you doing? Let me know how you're doing in the chat box. It's good to see you. I'm at Jamie's, a little bit of a different layout for me. You can see all this kind of behind the scenes-y type stuff that you wouldn't normally see at Jamie's in the bokeh of the background. He's been setting stuff up here around me. I thought I was streaming live for the last 10 minutes, but I'm using somebody else's equipment. I'm using somebody else's broadcast studio that it wasn't actually going anywhere. Stream Elements, wonderful. Said it was going out live. Wasn't. So here we find ourselves 10 minutes after I thought I was streaming to actually be streaming, and now the chat is actually filling up. Now people are talking. Good to see everybody. Thanks for joining me. Like I say then, I'm Rocky Outcrop. This is a kind of unscheduled, impromptu show. I'm just here to try and chat, see how you're getting on. We can take a look at whatever you're taking a look at. I've been taking a look already, because I thought I was live for the last 10, 15 minutes when I wasn't. At a couple of different stacks and stuff like that. Way, lucky fiver. So thank you so much, Dan. Dan. There you go. New name for you. It's because you said lucky fiver, D. You got me ready. Oops. Well, thanks so much. Filling some big sweaty shoes there. Hey, and here I am. Oh, this is my stream. This is my stream thing. Check it out. I had to come in here to see why is it not working. Check in with the old boffins. Well, we're up here working now. So, pow, excellent. I don't need that up there. Any McLongerson. Here is this chart. What's this? Well, this is Uniswap, miladies, and we were talking about this the other day. I was just after drawing in this parallel channel here. If I go to undo a few times, you can see that I was just after drawing that in a fakey live broadcast. And what I was talking about at the time was that I'm looking at this thing, kind of asking questions about this parallel channel. It was the right thing to take some profit, I reckon, for me, in there at 382, around about the $26 price, having got in at $18 and told everybody about it on the broadcast on Friday. So, hey, don't say I didn't tell you. And it was good, really solid move, $18 to $26, $8 there, 40% sort of thing. Fantastic. Unfortunately, not a massively wealthy man as I is myself. I was only able to make several $100s off of that move. Whereas if anybody that was watching along had I don't know, a few thousand spare dollars at the time to look into these things, they would be doing really well, right? A few more $1,000 than I did, that is. So the target for us remains up in around about $40 if we're looking at this in a harmonic point of view. We've come as far as we need to in terms of the parallel channel. And I'm looking at that as kind of the sort of thing. Let me know if you want to look at this in any more detail, because this is primarily, I suppose, at this stage, one for the folks that are in it. Another one, like myself, a personal interest of mine, of course, was Tezos. You'll know I'm the only dedicated Tezos technical analyst that's on YouTube. A lot of people know me for doing this. And of course, I've kind of explored the price action for this thing for the last 2 years solid. And it was lovely to see it come up and just keep doing what it likes doing, which is why I say it's going to do. By when it came up to here, did a couple of things. I spoke about 660s being, I said, 660 up to 750 is the greedy territory. And we got that. Did I hear somebody talking somewhere else? I don't know. We got that move. We can see we got resisted at the 650, 660 zone a whole load of times. Dropped back down to 580 to give another lovely bite of the cherry for a move up to 750. Right now, as it stands, we're below the 382 of the sort of this one of the Fibonacci's. We're below the 50% line of another Fibonacci. So could we be heading down for sort of that $6 area? Would that be your next buy price if it kind of wicked down and up? These last body closures here leaving me with a bit of concern should we see closures below 610 on a decent sized time frame, such as the 4 hours. Other things that we've been looking at, and thanks so much for these donations. I'll get round to looking at these donations in like 5 minutes, right? Under 5 minutes, 5, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2, 1 minutes. What we'll do is we'll just do a few wee charts, just go through a few couple of wee charts Then we'll go back over and we'll look at the super chats. What? Amazing. Thanks so much in advance. Party in your pants to everybody. Look at this. This is knackered, right? It's getting hot in here. Say what? I'm going to take off all my clothes. This is so up high. This is very nice. Yeah. So what we've got is naked. This is a company which has got a gap on the charts in the 4-hour and below time frames. On the daily time frame, the daily time frame, no gap there. Nice potential for a sort of breakaway, nice run up towards the top side, leaving this here as a questionable thing in this charts. Now, could we go back and fill that in? Personally, for me, this is where I'm looking for a higher low at. Longer term, that would be my next best buy entry from where we are now until conditions have truly, remarkably, definitely changed. But here we are riding this wave, 80 cents, so good. Will there be profit-taking targets coming into this area? Well, I dare say that there probably will be some. If we just take away my guy, this is of course the dude that stands on the diving board, you know, and really all this really kind of suggests is the key is a way of looking at these key areas on the right hand side in terms of recovery and breaking past certain price pivot points. And it's just a nice little drawing I do of a dude on a diving board, and I also do little things to show that the diving board itself is animated because the guy, of course, is jumping up and down on them to dive, you know. So that's the whole thing. It's just a big story. So yeah, where are we now is the question, and it's roughly speaking where we are right now is coming bang into this 618 golden pocket. So sort of, you know, I don't need to explain that prudent people out there are obviously looking at this zone with a degree of caution, and that's happening right now. Unfortunately, I don't have all my passwords and everything else for every trading account in the world, and I'm not actually proactively trading here today, which is kind of a wee bit annoying because I'm only pointing this out specifically. Maybe the electricity will be back on and I'll head back up the road soon. This is a cucumber. Maybe I'll head back up the road soon and be able to do all that sort of thing, but I'm not doing that today. And it's kind of, I'm only pointing that out because I specifically pointed out the fact today that in my show today, and irony struck me after just there now, that I am a proactive trader. That's exactly what I do. I'm not like one of these other guys that out there in the world that like quit whatever job it was because they were getting such success on YouTube. I've been doing trading for many years here now on my own. And I'm looking at this in this zone. It's kind of interesting to have my hands tied in a sense. I mean, I obviously I can go through the whole rigmarole of resetting account passwords and everything else just to try and log in. I already had to do that just to do a broadcast here on YouTube. God. Anyway, black swan events can happen. Like I always talk about, they can happen to anybody, and the electricity in your entire block and the block next to you and the block next to that and the block next to that and a big chunk in the center of town, in the very, very center of town, going completely off. That's effectively a black swan event. There's nothing you can do about that. Right, which is where we find ourselves. Tony, really fantastic to see you in the chat. Good to see you, Joseph D. Harker, Fappinit, Sal, El Capitan, Init Kim, F you, happy birthday, mate, yesterday. Good to see you. Wolfric, good to see you as well. Your discused skin suit. So anyway, naked right here in this zone. Obviously, next target's up 89, 92 cents, all that sort of stuff, looking up towards these higher up targets, you know, grand scheme of things, the big story, you know, this doesn't cover it. But in terms of like where we are in the here and now, another thing then I wanted to take a look at myself if we're going anywhere was AHT. It's a nice little kind of animation that I did when I was talking to Jamie about this chart over the weekend. For some reason, I drew it in like that. I was just pointing out to Jamie. I was like, "What do you think of AHT? Do you think this makes any sense?" Woo! Anyway, down really well here at 1685. Setting the heather alight, it is, and it's so easy to do it at these low price points. You got to imagine as well, in a sense, about all the people who feel like they're back in the game as prices move towards the top side when you've entered into something as a trader down the way. So imagine you've got like a sort of leaderboard or whatever of trades and stuff like that. not necessarily leaderboard, but kind of, all the people who are like, most annoyed that they're most underwater, etc. Now there's people up here at the very top that are underwater on this thing from way up here. Just talking about this year, like back in June, for instance, the prices were up at 66, the equivalent of $66, etc., or whatever, from where they are now. Like it's down at 16. So that person there, they get excited at the top. Then there's like this, like all the other people that can start to get excited about these things along the way. And what we're doing is in a territory where we're able to get excited about these things way before anybody that's been in it in the past. Way sooner, because we're choosing our moments. We're letting the markets come to us. So as each one of those goes by, then you get like another cohort of people who are interested. And you could think about this, like the board, the guy who's the CEO of the company, he bought it here at this price, right? So in terms of this leaderboard that I had on before, and you're thinking about, oh, what do you mean, Rocky? Who's on that? What's that? It's an imaginary thing that I'm making up here. But at the same time, we've just gone past the point at which the CEO of the company itself, with his latest buy of whatever it was that he spent, however much money on the company, the last big purchase of an insider, we've now just got to the price where that was made at. So he's now one of us, like sat here going, yay, winning. Whereas we're able to be winning from down in these areas, which is nice. Nice. Another chart we can take a look at is THETA USDT. Now, this is one that's been suffering. Don't doubt it. It has been. Dropped down to 474. There was a chat in the Discord. I wasn't able to take part. My microphone wasn't working. I was busy doing other stuff. But I heard bits at times with people chatting to each other. And there's a wee moment when D. Harker and Christy were chatting with each other in there, saying, it's scary here at 491. Scary at 491. And yeah, rightly so. It was. And Christy saying it's not going to break 491, and the price has dropped down to 470. And I was thinking at the time, listening to that, well, that's such an interesting conversation. You could introduce 3 or 4 more opinions into this one. You could have somebody else come in and say in the sort of the 15-minute time frame at the time when they were chatting, like, man, totally, like we've had tested it, been bounced back up, tested it again, bounced back up. I think it was in at this particular time that they were talking about it, like right here at this chart, right here, I think. And it bounced up and down, etc. And then it did go down, but it didn't break it on the larger time frames. And this is kind of the point that I was making about how you can have so many different points of view, or whatever. You could have people who are on their own, in a room on their own. They're making their own independent decisions. And that's essentially what all of us are like, really we are. Then occasionally, if you knock down the walls, you could have somebody say, I'm going this way, I'm going that way. And then you think, oh no, but we've got the same, but we're looking at the markets in the same way, and cause conflict. And then maybe they break down their own decisions. Somebody could have been looking to trade this for a nice 10% move, not 10% move. Sorry, it's not as much as 10%, but somebody could have been looking to trade this for a nice 5% move towards the downside. Well, at the same time, Christy was saying it could go up, and then subsequently Christy could have been looking to have traded this for a nice 5% move towards the top side. And I was thinking, this is a perfect example of that. And one person saying it's looking scary, another person saying, I ain't going to break, whatever, confidence and all this sort of stuff. Fantastic discussion. Not that they were scared of it, just that it's looking scary, because he was right. He was right, wasn't he? Because this was the entry price. He was right. And it's amazing that they were both right. They were both right. And this is us looking at how they're both right there. So anyway, as we exist below 530 on this one, it's crap. Summary. When we're above it, we're aiming up towards the 636 area, I think is my target on this one. Then after 636, then I've got a target that goes up as far as sort of the 777. I'm looking for all the sevens. No less now than it was before. The 1272 tying in at 777. Right, so these are the sorts of things that I've been looking at. There's so many more. I'm not been able to take a trade off of Japanese tobacco just yet. I'm wondering how that's doing. Can't remember the number for it. What else is there that I was looking at recently? I don't know. There's plenty. See this? The audio on this goes right up to the very top. I hope it sounds good. Jamie's audio sounds great, so going to just going to assume that it sounds good. Cool. Pop. How are you doing? Let's see if we can get some chitter chatter here. Gone streaking says F you. Hey. Nice. Yogi Rocky. Hello. El Capitan. Thanks so much. Yogi, was it? Woohoo, says Bulldog Buchanan. Woohoo, Bulldog Buchanan. Put me in, coach. Hey. Love your positive attitude. Sally Mander, it's a great mind bend, the daily discussion tickers, and maybe letting it into your plan or straight ignoring it. Isn't it? It's a great mind bend. It is a great mind bend. This is something that a lot of people who are the retail first sort of trader won't have really experienced necessarily, is having their ideas have a light shine on them. It's very kind of easy to sort of like, operate in silence and that. And then you put a light on it. Somebody else maybe runs with your idea, and then they lose money, right? For instance, and you think, oh gosh, was that my fault? It's a good question to ask. It wasn't your fault at all, unless you're pushing this thing. And then there's other people who, like, you tell them something and they don't take what you say, and you think, were they wrong not to? And they weren't wrong not to. That's just silly, because you would need to be pushing the thing for them to be wrong not to. So there's that, and then there's how it impacts on yourself. You're saying it to somebody, and somebody's like, "Oh wow, that's interesting. I didn't see that myself." And you think, well, if you didn't see it and you spent time looking at it, then what are you looking at? How's that? And then when somebody says, "Oh, this is scary," it makes you think, "Gosh, should I be confident in my execution here? Is this the right thing to do? Is it? I've got to stop it 460." And the prices are 490, and I'm saying it's not going to break 491. I'll take a position anywhere below 491, and I'm happy because it's going back up above it. Meanwhile, somebody's telling you it's scary. Why? Because they're sat there waiting to take profit potentially on the position going the opposite direction from you. They may be already 5 or 10% profit, and they're thinking, I could pull the trigger on this now and be happy, just like he's saying. But I'm actually sat here waiting to take profit further down. So how do you reconcile these things? And putting your ideas into a world where they have to exist with this conflict is such a big deal. It's such a big deal. Like, it's a big deal for you. It's a big deal for them. It's a big deal. It really is. Beyond even just considering whether or not your ideas are any good, or if they're well reasoned, etc. So it's one of the many, many, many things that people can experience the benefit of. Be a little bit kind of, burned by that sort of, or like off put by it. Or daunted by it, and then other people can think, wow, this is great, and that whole experience, fantastic learning thing. Highly recommend it. Now, of course, if you were working in an environment where you're surrounded by people doing this professionally, you're going to have these sorts of conversations all the time. It's kind of like your introduction to it. It's like your blasphemy, your baptism of fire, your blasphemy of fire, and it can often work the other way around, where you're learning off the back of other people's experiences as you watch. You maybe stand at the sidelines and you see, oh, this didn't work out for them, etc. Lots of stuff like that. So it really depends. Rocky Outcrop, look at oil. Nice trade to 75. What? Wait, what? Did something happen? Oil, did you see that? What was that one? Who was it that made that clip? Was it Bad Mama Jamma that made it? Who made that clip? Been a few clips really out the last couple of days with some of my stuff in there. That is really, 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 really cool. Really, 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 really cool. Really, really, really cool. So, for people, you can always type in the name of the thing that you're looking for. You're looking probably for CL1. I just tapped on CL2. CL1 exclamation mark, right? Oil futures. Is it going to load? CL, crude oil futures, right? Great. Fantastic. Did you like the TA on this that we did the other day? Cheers, Christy. Good shout out. Yeah, that's just what it does. Excellent stuff. Cool. Still actually overall has that diminishing volume on the go. Really, as the general overall thing here. Nice move to 75. A lot of people will be taking profit in here. Where would you want to get back in at? Well, you could try and catch anything at around about 73, perhaps. But we're here at the minute, so it's another one of these situations, isn't it? It's hard to to strictly speaking, you know, wait, fuck, I've got the chart up. Hold on a second. Did I have another chart up in a sec? Did I just do something else that I shouldn't have done? I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. So like this is a good example of that. So yeah, we've moved up to 75. People will be taking profit in about here. You would expect that. This is obviously another place that you can have it run up the way. So nice to be well positioned to take advantage of that, to be able to say lift some of your position up. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. But you'd be able to, like, for example, a lot of people out there in the world would say just take a third of their position, for example, and to say, well done, that's good, you've paid yourself. It's always good to pay yourself. Psychologically, it's very good, and in the long run. And then you are continue to aim up the way. Where am I aiming? 81.29, you know, but 81.29 and then thereafter up. And now this is just simple Fibonacci, right? But the simple things, it's like I said as well, that we aim to do the simple things well. That's what we aim to do here as a cohort, just to aim to do the simple things well. That rocky outcrop DMI flash fill on the weekly SPY chart blew my mind when I found it. Yeah, check this out. So we've been talking about this indicator. I'll show you if you happen to be tuned in here and you've not watched along before. Check this out. We've invented an indicator together. And it's built into the DMI, and you're looking at the flash in the background. We call it the rocky outcrop flash. If I just jump over to SPY and bring up this chart. Now, this is an indicator which gives you an eerie, scary look into the future. It's the sort of thing that when I talk about, I actually find a little bit kind of like, you know, gives me chills talking about it, because it's not the sort of thing that I would have ever talked about before. Out of everybody that makes content on YouTube that talks about trading, I'd probably be the number one guy for saying that it's all about risk management. I talk about trading as being risk management. I deliberately avoid using the words like predicting the future. Nevertheless, this thing seems to have an eerie ability to predict movements in price. When the flash happens, if you look to the candle following on from the flash, where the next candle body opened at after the flash, then you can actually this is crazy, but here we are doing it together, inventing this together. Nobody else has ever done anything ever like this before, ever. This is the type of thing that makes people world famous, right? Would be to be able to open up their chart back in, say, December 2016 and say to people all the time, right up to till March 2020 for 4 years, I'm short on this because I know that the prices are going to go back to $220 exactly. I know it, and I will prove it to you after the fact. Somebody could have said that for 4 years. I'll know it. I know why. I'll give you 4 years to try and figure out why I'm saying this, and we'll come back and review it. And then what would have happened is that this flash down here predicted that. And you can see in the chat there, Gumbercules, I don't know, Gumbercules, that rocky outcrop DMI flash fill on the weekly SPY chart blew my mind when I found it. And well done to you for pointing that one out. Now, there'll be lots of these because this does blow minds. I don't know. Challenge anybody to ever come up with it. I would say for every person that can come up with anything that's remotely similar to anything like what we're doing here, there will be at least 100 unique examples of people who have been made substantially famous for having been able to predict a movement in the market to any degree of success. So for every one of you that can come up with anything that's anything like this at all, it easily could match that with at least 100 examples of people who have become well known for having done anything remotely like that. Remotely, it's amazing. Anyway, yeah, that's a pretty cool one. I think Christy made the oil clip. Yay, it was a good oil clip. Rocky Outcrop, I've got to get to work, but I hope you have the best show. I'm pretty effing excited that Tony's back. Same. Isn't it great? Tony, you're loved. Tony, mate, you're loved. I can actually make myself bigger here now that I've got the green screen. Or can I? No, I can't. I can't. Forget that. Tony, you're well loved. It's great to have you back. Tony's back. Bum, bum, bum. Richard Burke, hey, welcome back, he says. Alex Freeman, Bofa Oil PT of 100 for winter. All right, cool, nice one. Looking up to 100, nice, cool, okay. Oh, wow, that's amazing. That's insane, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? It's amazing. I wanted to see the community TA, but it's 2 a.m. here and I do need sleep. I'll keep you on Rocky and watch back later. Get a like for now. Thanks so much. To be honest with you, I did squats while the power was out, but I need to go to sleep. Kieran, thank you so much for that. Let's do the squats together real quick. Me and you and I, let's do them together. I've not done them yet today. I need my YouTubes to do this. Let's do them now together. We'll squat for the spy, squat for spy, squats for spies, guys and girls, squats for spies. Dum 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 dum. Squats for spies, squats for spies. Dum bum bum bum. It's kind of funny to see this kind of, hesitating to get past this line, isn't it? It's kind of funny that squats for spies, squatties, bam 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 bam. Ba-da! Right. The reason that, yes, I may not be able to do those because I'm not logged into the Discord here. I could faff around and get the links and whatever and put the videos up and try and do it. But I think I'll probably just kick the analysis down the road till tomorrow. If that's okay. Now I might be able to go and find some. I could try. Let me know. What do you think? We could do the whole review in it. Gives everybody an extra day to do it. Check the Discord. There's 3 really good examples in there. 2 of them have got audio on them. Audio being better than not having audio. So fantastic. So check it. There's 3 examples at least in there. And we did one today, kind of in a way, with Corey Bing Bong's GME chat. Let's do 11 squats. Okay, we'll get them. We'll do them. See what it's like to do them here. Okay, so nice and controlled movements, and we'll hold the last one. Okay. Ass to the grass. That's 1. It's 5. I think that's 10, right? I think this is 10. I think that's 10. And then this will be the last one then. This might be 12. It's certainly not less than 10, right? I don't know. I can watch it back later. Should have counted out loud. I knew I wasn't a big enough boy to count in my head. Hold. Well done. Well done so much, everybody. I'll not feel so bad when I have my trifle. Hey, thank you so much. Everybody that joined in with that, thank you so much. Squeeze your butt cheeks together on the way up, says Sal. Have to try doing more of that next time. Brilliant. Okay, do that. I'll try that. I'm not very good at this. Never claimed to be, but we're doing it together. Getting better together. Right, so Spy struggling. Hey, cool. Nice one. DJI? That's a weekly chart. Forgot I was on the weekly chart. Well, interesting. Interessant. You can see here that with the stochastics are in this little overbought territory. You can see here, RSI trying to push up, maybe try and take out this critical area just here, prior high. And you can see that if we don't, we would have hidden bearish divergence on the MACD. in this time when the DMI is just crossed, but the ADX is in this questionable territory. So we've got a cross here. Is cross and kind of retest and cross again. I feel like you can go with the bulls on this, except you'd have to be careful. You'd have to be cautious, but you can go with the bulls. Something that let's just kind of, I suppose what we can do now finally, if you like, is wrap up the RSI kind of education that we've done recently, to point out that it is possible to do these sorts of things on indicators, oscillators down below as well. It is possible. Right here, we're pushing up past the 618 golden pocket on the RSI. You can see as well that's also things that are possible, like I pointed out just there, is to look to horizontal levels for support and resistance on the RSI, as well as like you do on price action itself. So it's a useful kind of thing, and people do that on various other indicators. Now, I heard kind of FU talking about this sort of thing earlier on, not that specifically in his chat. So you can always look at FU's show as well and see the sort of things that he tells you about with regards to learning these sorts of things. So I suppose this might work out as an example of it that looks okay. You know, you can see, but it's at the same time. At the same time, like the nice thing about this, I suppose, is like that's how high we got. That's how high we got in the RSI, and that's how low we got in the RSI. And it's nice to see that the 236 to 786 and that the way that they line up and the 50% all lines up inside, you know, and you can see it speaks for itself in terms of how you could do that. Obviously, my colors, etc., make a big difference in terms of understanding what's really going on with that. Yes, you can ride with the momentum of the bulls on this one. You can, but to be looking for much more than a 1,000, to be looking for much more than 1,000 would be a lot. Keep that core flexed. Gonna have to try it. Lol, very nice, Rocket Crop. Next time burpees. Oh, come on, burpees. Burpees are for heroes. I ain't no hero. You're the hero. Breeze says, and it can, yes, and fix my posture. My knees and your knees were cracking together. Yeah, that's nice. Emmanuel Delgadillo, good stuff, man. It's nice to see you again, buddy. Dropping the Sherlock Holmes face in there. That's cool, isn't it? Right, brilliant. Okay. Oh, just a second here. I suppose I'll give a quick shout out to Carissa. Apologies, by the way, for having been a bit harsh on the show the other day when I was making jokes about other stuff, and it kind of, my jokes not being funny enough made it a bit toxic the way I was talking, and that bled over to how I was talking to you. It really wasn't my intention. You know, just close to burning out. The way I described it recently was that I want to be like Icarus, but with, you know, a melted wing, not broken legs. Stay alive as long as I can. So I'm pushing myself a lot recently, and I hope that is to the betterment of the channel and to me and everything that we do in here in the community, and not to at one individual's expense. Certainly not. Anyway, great. Salamander, thanks so much for that. Nice daily flash on that DJI chart. Yes, there is indeed. In fact, I should not be so blind to this. What's going on over here? That's the 4 hour. Did you say daily? You did. And you said nice as well. You did. And it's here. And we filled that in already. Ooh, okay. But we could be riding with the bulls still nevertheless. You know, we've made it up here. This is the sort of thing. Like, are you not entertained? This is the sort of thing that it's like, that it's for. I suppose maybe this one had been filled in quicker. No, you know, no, it hadn't been, or maybe it just about had. It's very hard to tell. I'd have to zoom in a bit. Just have to zoom in a bit, and then we could tell a bit better. Yeah, it looked like maybe that did get filled in quickly, but at the same time, we're piecing this together. I mean, did it count or not count? Did it count or not count? We'd have to figure. Am I looking at it wrong? Oh, look at that on the 2-day time frame. So like, you don't get many of them here. Let's just look at it again on the daily time frame. So the daily time frame ended it's more questionable about what's going on here. Let's just look at it and see the 2-day time frame, and go back to the last time. The last time on the 2-day time frame. Ding, ding, ding. So here again, right? Well, that was probably straight away as well. So it's kind of, anyway, even if it wasn't straight away, fecking out the volatility is following on from that in that zone. Covered all that entire range anyway. So it wasn't. So it was done. It was done. It was always going to get done in a sense in that way. Here, this one here, yeah, we came back down. It's like we came to it. We did it. We did it for sure. That definitely happened as well. Over here, it's very, very, very. Right, so over here we did it as well, regardless of whether or not we right. So yeah, it's a thing on this as much as it is on anything else, seemingly. So this is what this ties together in a sense. If this is one that works, hasn't been done already, which it looks to be. So that's it. Yeah, 35,300. So like I'm saying, if you're aiming for 1,000, it gets greedy. For me personally, profit taking definitely happens in at that price point just there, given the flash that was on the charts there. So it'd be going up if we went up to the 886 region of that there, then you'd have the turnaround at the 886 having filled in that flash on the 2-day time frame. It's conceivable, is it not? FU Money, my brother was watching your videos with intense scrutiny. That's cool. Excellent. Live forever, Rocky. Thanks, Sarah. I'll try working on it. Hey, Rocky, says Stally, should we do TA with extended hours or without? Personally, for me, I find that it's easier to do it without, really. The thing with extended hours is that if you're going to screw with the market, you're going to do it in extended hours. No. If you're going to screw with the market in regular trading hours, you're already screwing with the market in extended hours. Okay, that's the better way to say it. Most likely. So that's kind of a big part of it. Is it that that it's not useful? No, it's useful. But is it that you need to be more careful with how you really kind of mine that, how you extract the gold from that mine? Then yeah, you will, because it's like less liquid and all the rest of it. And a lot of people just aren't looking at it at all. A lot of people don't even know that it exists, right? As a starting point, the fact that you're asking that question, I mean, think about it, from the point of view of when you first got into trading, how long did it really take you to know that extended hours was a thing that you would even look at all? Well, there's a lot of people out there that don't. We heard that, what do you call them? Who are they called? Credit Suisse, Archegos Capital's backers. Our Credit Suisse, they said last year that 30% of trading from their figures that they looked at was conducted by retail. 30% of the activity in the markets by retail. So that's quite a chunk. It's quite a chunk. It's quite a chunk. Oh, look at that. Balazas Shabo Hungarian. Hey, Balazas Shabo Hungarian. Taking a bit of a leap there by going with Shabo for how you pronounce that word. I wonder if that's correct, or Sabo. I don't know. What on earth? Rocky popped out of nowhere. Pooh. Here I am. Wolfrick's disused skin suit. Mile, it's going to go up. Mealy. Yeah, man. Let's see. Right, so we're looking for this to finally, dig itself out of this, go over the RSI's moving average. Got a nice cross here on the stochastics, with the potential. It's like, hey, we're looking, are we not? We're also, as you can see quite clearly here, experiencing a sort of double bottom experience, the double bottom experience over here with us. It has come a little bit lower in terms of the wicks. Are these bodies closing lower or not? Yeah, and I mean, that's obviously, it's it's not. It's like it's convergent there, except this whole area being here as opposed to lower is like, you know, it's bullishly divergent, right? And so it's looking half decent. This flash. Don't get too carried away with this flash. This is coming in from the point of view that the ADX just didn't exist. Okay, just didn't exist until this flash. So just, you know, but I don't know how to interpret these yet. Maybe this is another thing. Like it existed, but it existed because of time having passed since the IPO, and there was enough information there to make the calculation. Because, you know, we needed just so you know, this thing operates on a period of needing to have however many candles, so like 14 candles or whatever to make the calculations and that to begin with, or whatever. Yeah, right, great. And so like a month's data for us on the 2-day time frame, and then it needs another 14 candles to be able to start making this one. So like that's what's going on there, right? Just so you know, that's how it actually, you know, firing up its engines, right? As opposed to actually telling us anything. Worth pointing that out because we talk about this quite a lot. Looking for changing conditions, right, as well. We talked so much as well recently with regards to the RSI. Well, let's just draw this in then, as we spoke about before, the RSI having this idea on here. There's this idea, like what does this represent for us? And getting outside of this bearish control zone represents an awful lot. You know, turning around here without taking out our prior highs represents a lot. You know, getting turned around at the midpoint represents a lot. So you can understand then, obviously, that while you don't need the stochastics on, or the Fibonacci retracement on there at all, and you don't really need to massively like look so keenly for where your support and resistance areas are on here, like because I feel like, well, I mean, you do, I think actually you do need to look for it consciously, but after a certain period of time this becomes second nature. It truly does. So long as you think about that, as long as you occasionally review yourself, you know, is it second nature? Are you being complacent? Which one of the two is it? Because occasionally, you know, let's, like Christy says, oh, nice flash on the DJI there at that time frame. It's like, well, it's coming from me out of nowhere. I looked at it and I was being complacent about it, wasn't I? So that's that big gap up here, you know, to question about things like the one of the things obviously that filling this gap in would do psychologically and not breaking back down past it again would be, of course, to signal to the markets in general that things have changed. And then when people talk about gaps, and they don't necessarily consider this so much. But if you had price action that was operating like that, then it gapped down and operated like this, and then it went through the gap and filled the gap in, and then went on again, then that is kind of has a meaning. If it were to come down and operate like this and then gap up to there, then you might still be kind of thinking like a lot more about coming back down and testing it again, would you not? And when so many people are looking at things like that, that's important. And then of course, if you're thinking about gaps in terms of like you've got an island of price action where you've got price action going along here, then it's going along here, and then it's going along here again, then the significance of filling in this gap means so much, because you're looking to see at where's the price is going to be going to next, you know, like because if the prices are operating below this, then this is no longer some sort of island on its own. You kind of you know, you've connected it back up again, and maybe this is, you know, like maybe this was, you're trending that way. Then again, of course, if you come down here and then and break it, then it's, you know, it's not broken or whatever. So then as well, if you've got a price action that comes down and has an island, comes back up again, then leaves the gap on, that gap might stay there for years and years and years and years unfilled, you know, at the top of, or for months and months and months or whatever, at the top of a market as well, or indeed at the bottom of a market. So and then leave an island on there and just trend up the way, and people will look back and they'll think, well, maybe the prices came right down, whatever. They'll think, oh, that was a zone, you know, that was a zone that means so much. And this is like written there, plain, you know, like that's meaningful. Stuff that people have been asking about recently, might as well check in on and see how ATER has been getting on. Because I was curious about this one. Obviously, it sort of smart monkeys managing their risk around the 236. So what actually ended up happening with this in the end? What ended up happening with this in the end? How long has it been since we looked at it? Did I look at it on Friday? I think I must have done, in fact. Oh, it's not. It's because because traditional markets close over weekends. Rocky, come on now. Yeah. Anyway, we're still below the 236 on this movement toward back above the top side, obviously, and well, you know, we come down to the 618. So I guess that's kind of done what it's had to do in these natural oscillations of things. I'm not too sure exactly what it was that we were talking about last time. I can't remember at this stage, but I'm pretty sure that I think I was going on to say something about how we could be consolidating in here. Just look out for that. My stripper show is titled The Double Bottom Experience. All right, let's go back and take a look at some of these super chats. Oh, crap, I'm not logged into Jamie's. All right, wait, no. Stream element, stream thingy. This might have them. Yes. So let's see. Come on, give me... Right. The chapter timer is paused or something. Have a happy Monday. That was 3 hours ago. Last stream. Thanks so much. Bulldog Buchanan, $4.99. Last stream. Thank you so much. That was really generous of you, Bulldog Buchanan. Salamander. Corrupt crumpet, pump it, crumpet. Yes, you've got the crumpet. You discovered the crumpets. Excellent. Cool. You have Aaron Ewan. You did one earlier. And I can't read this stuff here. Trying to on Jamie's screen. It's all different. It's all different. Technical difficulties will always creep up. Don't let it get you down. We all appreciate your dedication in the face of frustration. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for these things, people. Thank you so much. Oops. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate all this stuff. It does get me down. It does get me down. It's like it's strange. It's like I don't know. It's like anything really. When you've got an expectation and you're committed to doing something and then you can't, and you're trying really hard and you kind of like put your energy towards it and stuff like that. I don't know. There's an emotional thing about it. And besides, anybody that tried making the YouTube videos for the homework assignment knows already that it's not an easy thing necessarily. So thank you so much, mate. Daniel Sage, $4.99. There's the lucky fiver. Thanks so much. D Harker sent $6.14. My stripper show is titled The Double Bottom Experience. D Harker and Dan, you've been trading tips with each other on how to manage this, how to do your super chats. I wonder, reading from each other's guidebooks there. That looks like okay, cool. How long are we at this? It's 5:29 at the minute. This thing says I've been streaming for 47 minutes. So that's all right. We'll finish this within the hour, right? We'll finish it within the hour. It's a different show. I'm going to finish up within the hour, which means, if I'm 40 minutes into this now, in the next sort of 10, 15 minutes, I'll be finishing up the show. So thanks to that. Thanks for that. Lol, very nice burpees. Next time burpees. Oh, yes, that was the chat earlier on. Excellent. So what else have I missed out on? Marv, what about gaps made when you take out the after hours? Are they just still as valid, reliable? What about gaps made when you take out the after hours? When you take out the after hours? No, gaps when you make gaps in the after hours are bollocks, and when you take out the after hours, that's where you're getting your gaps from. Gaps that are using the extended hours are bollocks. Like see the difference here that we've got. This particular candle here, for example, this is your normal trading hours. This is their regular hours, right? So the gap came in here, and then we're filling in the gap here. This is the gap. This is the gap. This is the gap. And now, of course, then you got extended hours, and the gap. Well, it wasn't really there. It wasn't really there, and we came up and then we kind of did all this pissing about, blah blah. Oh, what happened here? We filled it in, obviously, but the regular, and boom, we filled in the gap. It's different, right? It's different. For me, gaps are going to be created primarily. Well, I mean, that's the thing, man. Is that gaps are created by the trading in the extended hours. So often created by. if they're going to be like created by sort of extrinsic conditions that would have just moved the price radically very, very quickly anyway, then they can happen on regular charts. It's just it takes a big order to buy up the order book, create that tsunami effect where all the water gets sucked away and everyone's like, fuck, cancel orders, you know, and then creates a gap and then, you know, collapses, etc., stuff like that. Like nobody wants to buy it anymore, just funk. But then often really the gap dynamic is in terms of the shorter term time frame, or in terms of time frames that are more liable to be filled in quickly or less perhaps long term significance. What you're talking about is, you know, the shorter, the smaller, whatever, they're created in the pre-market and the extended hours, you know, created then for the exploitation of people in the under regular market conditions. So what we're doing about it here is talking about it from the other way around, the more revealing way. Pam the Trader, see you in chat there. By the way, in one of my earlier streams or today, I don't know if it worked or not, I spent a minute or two saying how great I think you are, because you're in lots of different people's stuff, doing moderating stuff, and that you're so helpful to people in the community, the wider community, you know, sort of without sort of, you know, not necessarily that you're owned by anybody, and like it's not like anybody's owned in my community, because that's not what it's like. I actually am grateful myself to be a member of the community that's around me. So you're not owned by me here either, talking directly to you at all. Nobody is. Nobody is. But it's great. It's great, Pam, to see that you're so kind of friendly and hardworking for people, just, you know, like that in that way, you know. So that's cool. We love you. Thank you so much, man. Lipton, it's great to see you. I've got a bottle of Lipton ice peach tea in the fridge. I planned on using it as a prop to say hi to you. Well, I'm pulling the rug on myself constantly, haven't I? You saw that. Appreciate it. Oh, that's cool. Nice one. Excellent. Driving now, but tuning in. Ms. A, you Rocky, have a fantastic day. You're super amazing. Your TA is amazing. Keep smiling and squatting. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All your calls, it's insane. You're always so on the money. Thank you so much, Ms. A. That's fantastic. Cookie, Pam is awesome, like Roy Kent, firing everywhere. We love to spread the love to you all. Yes, you see, that's it. You know, that's it. It's great. So I'm seeing that out there in the world. I see it. It's like, it's not just yourself, but you're there as a moderator doing that in various places. It's not just yourself. It's plenty of people out there that are doing this sort of thing, and it's not just in the other communities and the other channels I happen to watch. I know very, very, very well that everybody watching along here does wonderful stuff just in intrapersonal relationships they have in their own lives, you know. So and everything they happen to watch. Some people like watching random stuff, like whatever Pokemon Go videos, and they're out there probably having a great time as well, helping people. Everybody here is fantastic. Right, so another thing, did I look at AHT yet again? I think I did it earlier on briefly on the show, perhaps. 1659, loving it. We've been up as high as 17. This is a 1 minute time frame. Jeepers. So I missed this today. Well, I mean, I didn't miss this today, but you know what I mean. Fantastic. Like we've been looking to celebrate this crap for a long time. We really, really, truly have. So that's fantastic. Plan, please focus on driving, says Salamander. Totally. Yeah. Focus on the driving there. Yeah, cool. So everybody's is chatting away there, dead friendly, and thank you so much for your support and appreciation, everybody out there. It really does make a massive difference. I can't say it enough. Really, truly does. I mean, last week, oh God, I was tired, right? Close to burning out. I mean, I still am technically, because I'm just kind of, you know, swimming back up the way from that. I was the dude on the diving board, you know. Last week I made it to the 886 Fibonacci retracement. I've just put my head above water now and got a breath for the first time, which is nice. So here we are, you know, trying to never break the chain. That's why I'm back right now. Never break the chain. Massively committed to you all. So thanks so much, and thanks for sticking through with it last week and stuff. Tell you what, it's hard. It means a lot to me though, and I'm super proud of the achievements we're making. We've got shout out to Ape Hoddle and their bomb. No, not their bomb. Yeah, Yeah, the bomb. Am I got that right? God, I'm just. I know the personalities. I'm just confusing pictures in my head with their similar. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. Anyway, for putting together the server a bit better, like we're expanding out the way. Also got suggestions that came in, and I was looking through them in marketing channel. I was reminded that people were talking about how we need to get rockyoutcrop.com on the go, and it's like a massive undertaking. Really, what we're doing here is we're building a community that's capable of having many thousands of people in it, and also maintaining that culture of what the community is, and we're trying to do something that's really quite special here now. We're carving into the mountain, creating roads for other people to travel down to. You know, we're the ones that are setting a trend here that other people will be able to follow along afterwards, because it's us that are creating this. We're creating this whole thing, this new community that we've got on the go. I think it's very new and unique. So maybe other people will be able to benefit from that and various other things down the road. But for us, it's extremely hard work. And what may seem like simple solutions to other people down the line will have been off the back of many hours and days and weeks and months of hard work and dedication by a big team of people. So thanks to everybody that does that. Shout outs to people in the community, by the way. Nice little movement there in terms of Christy becoming a mod, Dead Money becoming an Anne Lewis, you know, soft mod in the Discord, etc. So all that good stuff. Contributions from people, massively appreciated. So when somebody sends me a message saying it means a lot, fuck, it means a lot to me. I'm already too tired. I'm already too you know, like I say, close to burning out and all that last week. I'm already too close to being emotional even just now as we talk to read this potentially. I've not read it yet, you see. So somebody sent this. Somebody sent this piece of paper here. Well, a note on it. And they might be watching now, so thank you so much. It's came from Anonymous. Rocky, thank you for being you. Yeah, I can't read that right now, but you can see it means a lot to me. Appreciated. Yeah, cool. Nice one. So much love, Rocky. Thanks so much, Native Flight. So we'll just kind of move towards wrapping up here. How long have we been at? 57 minutes. Aye, so we're moving up. We're going to keep it in around about an hour. So is there anything that anybody wants me to take a look at that, you know, just now? We've got GME on the go. Questions coming in from people about whether or not it's the right time to buy, etc. It always is. People never stop asking that. I would love to see, in a sense, for discounts purposes, it going to 170. It does get scary if it goes below 140, etc. It really does, you know, really, truly does. So, you know, going down to 170, though, on the other hand, that's a nice ride, down the way there. That would be a nice one if we could get it, if we could invest, and you know, if we can benefit from that. So, shout out to Corey for talking about that, and shout out to, well, you know, whatever. It's impossible for me to not acknowledge the influence I had. This is another reason, you know, if I watched anybody doing anything on YouTube, I'd give them credit, or read it. If I read it on Reddit, or if I read it on TradingView or something, because why would I not give them credit? So Corey, who's talking about this, Gartley. Did we talk about this, Gartley? He's not nicked this idea from us, has he? No, he hasn't. I don't think so, anyway. Anyway, yeah, that'd be cool. So let's try and fucking ignore it, right? Let's try, though. Let's try and ignore it. So I'm going to just hide it. I do that, by the way, and then I forget. People, I do that and I forget, and I've got things that are hidden over here. Where's that one? I just revealed. Where's that one at? All the way up there. Yeah, okay, some sort of thing like that's still long term, possibly potential, whatever. Right. Yeah, I know. I always forget when I hide things. So I've got hidden things everywhere, and then one day I come along and hit the button, and then it's all gone, and I never remember. Right. So what else would we be looking at? So so far from the lows, the concerns I have, just to add to that, from the lows, say here to these highs, because we already know this is 618, right? But this is the just tracking it back the way, we're below the 50%. Like, we know that we came down to the 618 previously. That's functions as part of that Gartley talk. And then we know that we retraced back up the way, and got back up to where the 886-ish is, 786 is, of this X to A movement. We already know that we came up there, which is equivalent of saying that we came up and tested 236 and didn't invalidate it. That's what that is, by the way. Oh, gosh, everything has overlap. We talk about price action, and we talk about things all the time in terms of like where things could go to. And you can see here we came up to these highs there on that particular Fibonacci, and then it means that in the flip side of it, that we didn't take out the 236. And what I talk about then, of course, has been that the 236 is what creates a valid Fibonacci. And it's, you always got these overlaps anyway. This is just how technical analysis works. By virtue of the fact that you're looking for a pattern which has got a peak on it, followed by one which doesn't take out the first peak, that means that what you're looking for is for this type of relationship. So it's everywhere. It's all relationships with all things. Are interconnected. This is like you could call my analysis like the string theory of equivalent. Like, you've got like these people who are out there trapped in their little bubble where they say, no, this is science, and then somebody else is like, no, this is science, and it's like, then you're looking for the great unifying theory, right? String theory may or may not be it. I'm not actually a scientist. The point that I'm making is that I'm like the great unifying theory with my technical analysis is just always has always it's just what we do here. You yourself are developing these skills. So so we didn't take out that 236 over there, but the point remains that I'm looking at this and saying that we're below the 50%. If we start to go above like $198, $200, etc., $200, then, and closures up above, then we're kind of starting to get to the point where, well, we wouldn't have invalidated that Gartley pattern. We're starting to get to the point where we're really asking some heavy questions about it. We really are. Because the next movement up would invalidate that Gartley pattern, right? So that's where we are. That's the modus thinkingus currently andus for us. So another way to kind of that's Latin. What? I am tuning out in the next couple of minutes, by the way. Nobody needs to remind me. I will check again as well in a second to see if I've missed any sort of super chat type things. So we've got the Gartley. And I see that my thing's gone back to this kind of cool grey one, or green one. We've got that on the go from there. But there's also, theoretically, it's possible to just look and say, well, what's this? What's this? What is this? And this positions us here. So this is also so often the case with these things. Obviously, it's not massively discussed. But how would you be looking for this? How would you be? How would you be? If this were to be a butterfly pattern, you'd be looking up here towards the 1272. Okay? A 127, right? So fuck it, somewhere up there, $250. This could be a butterfly right here. So discuss among yourselves. Corey, I hope you enjoyed, if you're watching here, if you watch later, this kind of in this a way that you've influenced the show today. Well done to you. And also hope everybody else has enjoyed then as we come to the very end of the show, having started off one of the clips earlier on today, that we've then, taken this sort of discussion to the next natural point where we're asking, we're asking what could happen. And it's all kind of framed around the question of, theoretically, if I were to have bought it today here, have I made the right decision, and should I have spent all of my money? Am I making the right decision to wait, and should I have kept some of my powder dry for later on? And this is your question, and unfortunately, it's going to take itself to reveal the answer. Right now, where have we got to? Pardon me. Below the neutral line, in this little zone, yeah, you would anticipate further movements towards the downside. Just going into that oversold territory. Anything above 35, for example, would be a great place for that to turn around at if it was going to 170. equally again here, if you were to take out the neutral line and move up, you could be doing the 200 at the same point time, and that would be your cascade towards the top side. So really, you know, where am I? And it comes down to sort of place your bets element, or indeed you go down to something like the lower time frame and you try and look amongst that, try and come up with these ideas yourself. Have we done enough, for example, down here so far? Do we want to put in hidden bullish divergence and push down a little bit further, put for that 170 and do the rise up with hidden bullish divergence? Do we want to? Do we not want to? If we do cross just now, it's chop. Obviously, the current cross is chop. So, you know, this anticipating it to move to 170 from where we are now, we'd have to do that in a chop, you know, trend during chop. So it would be due to turn around when it did do. So, like, you know, breaking it down. Anyway, I'm now ravaged by the biases that we've put on ourselves, and it's at the perfect time in the show to end it for everybody who did tune in. I suppose there's a couple of little things that we take a look at because I'm still curious myself. Oh, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Ms. A, everybody else watching along, you know, sorry, not Ms. A specifically, but Ms. A said your calls are pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm loving what I'm seeing on EVGO up there at $9. Oh, AHT, EVGO, you're being so kind to us recently. You've been so kind. What's doing crap? ZV, what's it again? Oh, let's just check out ME real quick. Oh, doing good on that as well. But let's check out ZV, is it? Because this is crap. ZV1. ZV, no, it's... Thank you, ZM. Right, ZM. Yeah, there it is. Thank you so much. Hot chocolate. Wow, F yes. I'm finishing in just 2 seconds here, by the way. Right, so is this the recovery that we're talking about? I was looking at this on the way down, talking about the potential for recovery. Yes, as you can see, I meant it. I was looking at this on the way down, talking about the potential for a recovery. We've now come down lower, and I'm looking and saying, well, hey, you know, where are we? No, that was the wrong Fibonacci. I just convinced myself. I was looking at the wrong Fibonacci for a second there, though. Come on up here. Down here. Come on. Yep, great. Interesting note, by the way. I just moved that Fibonacci, and it didn't change the way that it was formatting. I moved, or did I move? I don't know. It doesn't matter with the harmonic. It seemed like the harmonic pattern might change just with movements, your settings, whatever. Yeah, we're looking and asking, can we get above that 345? And I'm celebrating soybeans up until I don't know what, up until like 350, 360. I'm not like going to go mental on this thing immediately. This is a big. Let's just look at it real tiny second here. We pushed past the 618. We never made it down as low as the 786. You know, we really need to recover the 618, like to move up the way that's happening. Let's the linear chart, the logarithmic. Perfect. Sorry, the logarithmic chart. Yeah, because Jimmy's screen is making it so I can't see if I'm on logarithmic or linear so easily. Jimmy's microphone thing. You don't care. Anyway, golden pocket here, right at the 236. I mean, this is something I'm looking at. We do these things on the channel. We do them together. We do them to support each other, to support the community. Thank you so much for being a part of that. You are the community. I'm just as much of that as anybody else. So thank you again very much for being a part of that. Really do appreciate your contributions, Corey, Native Flight, Ms. A. I'll get back to reading the message you put in, Corey, in a second. D, Dan Lesage, Aaron Ewing, Sally Mander, and that today. Really do appreciate it. Bulldog Buchanan, Apple Blossom as well. Thank you so much today again. I really do appreciate it. Really, 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 truly do. Thanks to everybody who's a member. Really, you know, is a big deal. It does help. You know, a lot of people have left in favor of Patreon recently. That's fine as well. You know, it's like that there. But, you know, every way that everybody does anything to support the channel is really, really, really well received by me massively. Thank you so much. Thanks to all the patrons. Thanks to everybody in the chat here as well. Thanks to Pam the Trader. Thanks to Sally Mander. Thanks to I Am Not a Cat, Meow, Lepton, Corey Bing Bong, Ms. A, Native Flight, to Streamlabs. Gosh, what are you doing here, Streamlabs? Chris, Tony Wright. What did you say earlier on, Tony? Like. Yes, please. If you could hit the like button on the way out, that'd be massively appreciated. Thank you so much to everybody. I really do appreciate you. Appreciate you all so much, so very, very much. I'll see you in the chitter chatter whenever that happens on Discord, etc., and all that. It's been a good show. Thank you so much. Oh, and Corey's message. Could have never done it without you and Jamie. Credit where it's due. I learned this difficult thing from you as someone who values education. Thank you so much. And we, like I say, we're all in this together. The rising tide lifts all ships. You, my friends, are that rising tide. See you again next time. Thanks so much.